Welcome back to Man Down Sports. As you can see from the thumbnail, Colorado State, Colorado, Coach Prime, Coach Norvell is going to be the topic of discussion. There's a lot of dirty plays that went on in that game. It was a rivalry game that happened on Saturday, but it was a lot of storylines around it, starting with what happened before the game actually took place, where there was some comments made by Coach Norvell. So we're going to get into all of that. Before we get started, make sure you hit that thumbs up button. Make sure you subscribe and make sure you leave a comment and share as well. So if you're not subscribed already or you're watching this from Facebook, head over to YouTube, watch us from YouTube, give us a sub on YouTube. Make sure you hit that thumbs up on the way in or on the way out and leave a comment. Let me know what you think in the comment section. So we're going to get into this conversation about Coach Norvell and Colorado State. But before we get into it, I want to play a word from a sponsor, which is September is here. So let's take a second to talk about self-care. When it comes to making a first impression, proper grooming is essential to looking and feeling good when you walk into a room. That's why the sponsors of today's show, Manscaped, are committed to helping men around the world walk and talk with some swagger this season with the best grooming tools on the market. Join the 9 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped and enjoy this offer of 20% off plus free shipping with the promo code MANDOWN at manscaped.com. Don't neglect your beautiful self and get right this summer with Manscaped. Included in this ultimate grooming bundle is the star of the show, which is the Lawnmower 4.0, with skin-safe technology to minimize nicks and cuts in all your sensitive areas. Once again, Manscaped supports Man Down Sports so much that they're provided an exclusive offer for our listeners. Get 20% off plus the free shipping when you use the promo code MANDOWN at manscaped.com. Feel like yourself again and take charge over your life with Manscaped. All right, so how did this all start? It started from the comments that Coach Norvell said. I won't even play the comments because it's well documented. Everybody already has heard it time and time again or read it time and time again. It's been going on since Friday or Thursday or something like that. The game was on Saturday. But basically what he said, I don't even know what the question was, but his comments was, I don't know about y'all, but my mom taught me to take my hat and glasses off when I'm talking to adults. And he was he was implying that Coach Prime walks around with his shades on, walks around with his hat on, basically saying he's Hollywood, right? And that goes to the theme of how he wants to run his team and how he wants his players and his coaches to act, because if you've seen the game, they was talking about how he wears blue work type utility shirts, like a type of work shirt you would see a mechanic wear. That's what his coaching staff, he required them to wear that at practice because the theme of their team is that they're blue collar, hard-nosed workers, right? So basically what he was doing was just doing two things. He was playing into his theme that he's trying to get into his kids' head, into his coaching staff head, how they want to portray themselves: hard workers, hard-nosed, blue collar. And basically what he was saying that Coach Prime in Colorado is doing, they're being showboaty in Hollywood, which is a good contrast and a good clash for a good battle, right? And, it's no different than when you watch a movie and they kind of had that dynamic as well. You watch the Rocky movie when he fought the Russian. The Russian had all this new technology during his training and how he was training and all that stuff. And Rocky was somewhere in some snow-filled area where he was working out outside with just logs and trees and stuff like that. It gives you that hard-nosed, blue-collar worker versus this Hollywood type figure. That's what he was going for. That was the first thing he was trying to do. The second thing he was trying to do was he was trying to rally the troops around him in the media, because there are particular media members who don't particularly like what Coach Prime is doing and how he's running his teams either, right? So that comment he made kind of rallies them around Colorado State and his players, right? That's all he was really trying to do. right? He was trying to use a tactic to motivate his guys and rally the media around him, you know, the somewhat kind of steal the spotlight a little bit, right? So he did that. Coach Prime said he made it personal, right? So once the game began and they're on the field doing their warm-ups and all that stuff, you know, they showing videos of Travis Hunter and other guys getting into it. I don't know who the other guys was because the camera stayed on Travis Hunter. They getting into it, you know, and they ready to play. They motivate themselves. They're talking trash. They're ready to go. So you knew it was already going to be chippy, and that was already a in-state rival. So you knew it was going to be chippy. So we get in the game, and you know, they're talking, they're yapping, they're getting in each other's face. They're trying to hit hard. They're playing with, they're playing all out. They're playing with a lot of heart, right? And you know, Colorado got the interception early. They ran it back. It was Deion's son, not Shedeur, but Shiloh, who ran the interception back. And they're showboating. They're doing their thing, right? You know, so they're doing what they call or what they're known for, showboating Hollywood, and they want to bring what they, you know, known for. They want to lay the wood on people, and they want to talk trash. They want to play hard nose. So you could tell that was the message to those players. I mean, that's the theme of their team: blue collar, hard nose. We work hard. That's their message. So you knew they was going to try to make this a different type of game. We're not going to let you showboat in Hollywood. You're going to have to beat us in the trenches. You're going to have to beat us with grit and grime. You're going to have to beat us like an old Pittsburgh Steelers and Baltimore Ravens game, right? You're going to have to beat us like that. We knew that was the message. We knew that. Like, we're not dumb. We know that's the message when Ray Lewis and Pittsburgh had those great defenses. You know, when the Ravens had that great defense going against the Pittsburgh, who had a great defense as well, we knew those games was going to be like that. And the NFL knew what a rivalry was about with those guys, and they called the game a little bit different. They allowed a little bit more. So, I mean, for entertainment purposes, leagues know how to operate in situations like that. Well, you don't want to let stuff get out of hand and let it get out of your way. The referees got to maintain control for player safety, right? And just from the optics of it, you don't want it to be a gladiator sport out there where people are trying to take people's heads off and hurt people outside of the realms of what's normal gamemanship or sportsmanship, right? Which leads me to the hit. Travis Hunter running down the sideline, one-on-one with a corner, and there was over-the-top help from the safety who was coming over there. Ball was overthrown. Ball hits the ground. Travis Hunter and the corner is still attached to each other somewhat. The play is over. The ball hit the ground. I think the whistle was even blown already. But here's the safety coming full speed. And he's coming, because Travis Hunter is on the outside, close to the sideline, and the defender is on the inside, closer to the field, which is where the safety was coming from. So in order for him to get that hit on him, the angle he had to take, he had to actually run over there full speed, get himself ready after the ball had already hit the ground. And I know you could see it. You could see he didn't even catch the ball. He didn't even put his hands out like that. The ball was nowhere near it. So the ball hit the ground. You know he don't have it, so there's no point to hit him. That already makes it unnecessary roughness. So that was right to throw the flag on him, right? That already makes it unnecessary roughness. But the issue I have with the rules and how they define targeting is they're only defining targeting with people that are leading with the crown of their helmet. And I think it should be areas on your body that can be defined as targeting based on how it, how it looks and how we can, perceive the intentions of the defender. And we know his intentions was to get a free hit on him, even when it was outside of the play. The play was over. The whistle was blown. The ball hit the ground already. He had to avoid his player, his teammate. He had to avoid him to, kind of move around him to get the hit that he wanted on Hunter. 100% dirty play. Doesn't meet the criteria by the letter of the law of targeting, so they didn't throw him out. But we know, and we can look and see exactly what that is. So if the rules don't allow for us to handle that the right way during the game, what should happen is that Coach Norvell, a grown-up in the room, you're coaching kids, you're in college, a grown-up in the room should be the one that is continuously teaching his players. Even on the pro level, you're supposed to do that, but especially at the collegiate level, you're supposed to be continuously coaching. And when they do things like that, you're saying that that's not how we play. If that's the truth, if you don't play like that, if you're not teaching that, then you should be the one to say, that's not what we do. And if you don't do it publicly on the spot, you definitely need to do it behind the scenes, and you definitely need to you definitely owe the public that articulation later on. You shouldn't double down when they ask you about it and say it was a bang bang play. It can happen in any game. That's not what you do. That's way out of hand. Let me give you an example of what a coach does when this player does something dirty. Here's JSU, maybe a year ago, maybe 2 years ago, I can't remember. As a linebacker, one of the best linebackers there. He now played for the Miami Dolphins. This is Coach Prime and how he coached up his player who did something dirty.
Already on the knows outside and elements and yeah, history. High school test scores, giving it to you like it is. Stephen A. admitted many a time how he had his abilities growing up. So that how much he has.
So that's Coach Prime. That's Coach Prime. You could tell that the opposing team was in the kneeling formation. The game was over. JSU lost. So the players might have been a little frustrated that they lost, right? But in the game is over and he's going in that kneeling formation. There's no reason for a linebacker to go. And that wasn't even a hard hit. But it was unnecessary and it was uncalled for, and it deserved a flag. And it deserved your coach to come over and say, you're better than that. You're embarrassing yourself. You're embarrassing the program. We don't play like that. He went over there immediately and coached the kid up and let him know that he doesn't condone it and that's not how we play. And when the kid didn't like what he was hearing, Deion kicked him off the field. That's called coaching. That's called a coach that cares about his players and the players that they're playing against. Coach Norvell don't care about the players that he's playing against. Like, as a coach, these are all your kids. We're all trying to make sure that these kids grow into good law-abiding citizens and assets to society, or go on to the next level to play some football. But still, we want them to be great men and assets to this society. Targeting people but because you're mad because they wear shades and glasses and you're going to play that way on the field because you're jealous because they're getting attention, or you're mad because they're drawing attention to themselves. They're playing good football and they're playing good. They're well coached. They deserve the showboat. That's nobody business that they care to showboat. So Shannon Sharpe said something that was very interesting and very true. He said, when you see a player and you see a team that is constantly, like, they got 17 penalties. Most of those penalties, I ain't gonna say most, but at least half of them were dirty plays. When you see a team that's playing like that, Shannon Sharpe made a good point. Either the coaches are coaching it, or they're not coaching it, but they're condoning it. Because if you're not condemning it, you're condoning it. So I added that third C to it. Either you coaching it or you're condoning it, which is what Shannon said. And the example that Coach Prime just showed us at JSU is how you condemn it. So in order for us not to assume you're coaching it or condoning it, we have to see you condemn it. We have to hear you condemn it, right? Coach Prime did it immediately when he seen something that's not a part of my program. I'm not teaching your kid. My kids that. And I'm going to show you I'm not teaching you that. He condemned it right on the spot and corrected him and kicked him off the field. Coach Norvell didn't do any of that. You didn't see him pull him to the side, tell him that's not what we're doing. When they went into halftime and they was asked about everything, he didn't mention any of that. He wanted to mention the fact that there was a disparity in the penalties. And then when they asked him after the game, it was the same thing. They asked him specifically about the hit, and he act like he denied like he even seen it. Like, I got to look at the film. I was on the other side of the field and couldn't really see what happened, and I don't know. He played dumb. And then a day later, he comes out with a statement that say, "I finally got a chance to look at it, and yeah, it was a bang bang play." That showed you're not condemning it at all. That shows me that you didn't go to that player and correct him and say, "This is not what we do at all." You basically told him, "Look, you were well within your the rule book and sportsmanship and gamesmanship, and keep doing it. I condone it." So at the very least, he's condoning it. At the very worst, he's coaching it because he's not condemning it at all. I think that's a sad act. My last thing I want to make about Coach Norvell is he seems disconnected from reality. Like he's mentally just disconnected from the realness and reality. Like when they seriously when they act, it reminds me. I don't know if you've seen the Bishop Sycamore documentary on HBO, but that coach that team, the fake high school. When they interviewed him and they was asking him questions, he act like he did not see anything wrong with what he was doing. He said it wasn't illegal, and the way he's able, you could just see it in his face, in his eyes, and how in his demeanor. When they asking him questions that a reasonable person would see and listen to and see a problem with it, like you could see him disconnecting from it and like, what's the problem? I don't see anything wrong with it, and he believes that. That's the same thing I see with Coach Norvell. They're asking him about an obvious dirty play and multiple dirty plays, and he just disconnected. I just don't see that. What I do see is the fact that we kept getting flagged. Like, it is insane how his mind just quickly operates like that. Just look at his face when they ask him the question. He really believes his player didn't do anything wrong. He really don't see nothing wrong with Justin Hunter sitting up in the hospital with a lacerated liver, right? He really didn't see nothing wrong with the fact that the ball had already hit the ground 5 or 10 yards ahead of them. And this dude ran over there, avoided his teammate, and just gave all this weight into this dude's shoulder that was coming probably 5 miles per hour this way, and you hit him this way in his rib cage. Now everything that's inside of his rib cage is still coming forward, and you just stopped him, and everything just hit his rib cage. Like, come on, man! Like, you got have some type of compassion. I just think that's just utterly ridiculous. And not only does the kid deserve to be suspended, 1, 2. I honestly don't know what they're allowed to suspend him. I don't know what their rule books is, but if it was me, I would be pushing for him to be suspended for the same amount of time that Travis Hunter is going to be out. So if he's going to be out for 3 weeks, that player needs to be suspended for 3 weeks. But on the flip side, Coach Norvell, he needs to be investigated. Like, I would be interviewing that whole coaching staff, the water boy, the team doctors. I want to hear what they was talking about in the locker room. What were they trying to get them to go out there and hurt people, and was that the message to his team prior to the game or during the game or at halftime or whatever? I want to investigate him to see if he did something that's unethical. Well, we know he did something unethical, but we want to see if it was anything that that we can find in the investigation that this is a fireable offense. Like I think he doesn't deserve to be around kids. Go coach somewhere else with that mentality. But you can't be around kids in college doing stuff like that, man. That's no way. That's no way, man. You gotta have more compassion than that. So that's my thoughts on that, man. Y'all leave y'all comments in the comment section. Let me know what you think, man. Do you think both the player and the coach need to have some type of repercussions for what they did and how they conducted themselves on their basketball, on their football field? I'll catch you on the next episode. Peace.